It's party time, Mom. Welcome to another episode of the Chad Prather Show. That is right. It is National Beer Day. National Beer Day, according to Party Foul Steve over there at the pub. Every day is a National Something Day.
It is. I was scrolling through Facebook, and boom, it popped up, so I figured it must be real. So let's do it.
Of course. Chancey, the soulless ginger rapper. Oh, Chance, driving us into the nether regions of all things alcohol. Candice, the queen of the Ethiopians, regal, sleek. Just like saying sleek. Hey, don't even know what it means.
Every day it's a new descriptive
word. You're an
word.
automobile or something. You're the new Cadillac design. Chance, you drinking whiskey over there?
Nah, I don't have anything today.
Don't have anything? Yeah, okay. You don't like beer, do you, Lisa?
No, I don't like any type of beer.
I have one every so often.
I mean, you're practically drinking beer now.
Well, yeah, my kombucha has alcohol in it. This is what I drink. It's my probiotic, Chad.
Has alcohol in it in the form of what? Like algae?
Yeah. Sure.
It's fermented.
It's fermented. It's got fermentable stuff.
Why do you guys think I come in here so hyped every day? I don't need no bang.
It ain't from kombucha, I can tell you that.
Kombucha, Cam.
Golly. Let me see that koozie you got there. Hold that
this
thing
is great.
Up. Look at that.
Yep, this is
Chad 22. Vote
beautiful.
Chad 22. I got to remind everybody, Candace, that they got to be making their plans to vote in the primary election, or all of this will be for naught. See, normally people just go to the general election. Right? That's
right.
What happens in November. You're going to have to go to the primary election. You're going to have to go to the primary
When's
polling.
the primary election?
I think it's May of 22. I think it's May of 22. So I could be wrong on that. I mean, I'm just running for it, but I think it's May of 22.
Okay.
So it's an earlier election.
Sounds right, because I see all kinds of, even now, I guess there's like local elections going on. So
Mayoral elections right now.
I see
it's going on in
signs all
Fort
over
Worth.
Burleson.
A lot of people keep asking why we don't have signs out yet. We don't put signs, and we don't make our signs available because we want to get through these mayoral elections. We need to get through really into May before we do it, because otherwise, you know what happens? They put all these signs out, and then they come and they collect them all up. Well, they'll just take our signs too, and we got a long time to go. So.
But they don't need to get signs. They can get Prather 22 flags at watchchad.com.
She said it, not me. Yeah, there's T-shirts, and we're having to be careful with that too because of ethics. See,
what?
Because now what we're going to have to do is, like, those we've been selling as quote unquote novelties,
right?
Right. So we can continue to sell those, I think. But now all new stuff, now that we've declared with the state, we'll have to put on our Prather2022.com site, and it'll be a donation. You make a donation and you receive.
Right.
Your sign or your shirt or whatever. Getting the signs and the shirts out there, that's what's important, because we want to do it. I got stickers come in, things like that.
Yeah, all your merch is always on point.
And I'm at a point now where the stickers, I'm just going to start giving them away.
You should.
Like pins and stickers.
Can you give some to me so I could
give
them out?
Of course. You know, but what's funny is this is almost like a nationwide thing, because I've got people from all over the country who are like, we want to vote for you, but we can't. We live in wherever. And so they're asking for stuff, or they're buying things. And I appreciate that. But we need Texans. I was in Wise County. That's the Decatur, Texas area. We've been in a few counties
where I'm from.
now. Been in a few counties now. What's that?
That's where I'm from.
Is that where you're from?
Yeah.
Shout out to Wise County.
So we were in Wise County on Monday night, and had a good turnout, about 400 people.
That's awesome.
And
where was it? Were you outside, inside, what?
It was out. It was inside a place called the Big White Barn.
Love it.
Beautiful place. They need to change the name of that deal.
Oh,
They're
that's
gonna need
racist.
to change the name of that place. Big White Barn, gorgeous venue out there. And we had about 400 people out there for the Wise County Conservatives. And I'll tell you, I was encouraged because they're not happy with the status quo. They are not happy. And the average conservative that's truly tuned in to what's going on in Texas, they're not happy with what's going on. Now, if you're not paying attention, people look and they say, oh, the governor's doing great. He's doing great. Now, he's overturning things that he created, right? He created the crisis, and now he's overturning them and trying to look like a good guy. We'll talk a little bit more about some of the things that are going on in Texas and with the border, newest developments here on National Beer Day. And I'm just telling you, folks, they gotta get aware. This is as grassroots as it gets. Lisa. I mean, we're broke. We ain't got no money. We ain't got no money.
You know, I find a little hope because I'm the one that mails out all those T-shirts and stuff, and I start seeing like my hometown people ordering, and counties around us, Tyler County, Polk County, where I grew up from, and I'm not really connected with them. I just know the addresses, and then I recognize some last names and stuff, and I'm like, hey. The word's getting out there, and they're ordering the Chad Prather for Governor shirts.
Good. A lot of people were asking where you were the other night at that, and I said, "Yeah, Steve don't really come to the political rallies."
Yeah, I could have came. I have a nice jacket.
He's afraid that somebody's gonna start digging shit up on him.
No, I'm afraid they're gonna ask me some question about
that you won't know
your politics, and I have
you just
no idea.
Say I don't know. I told him the other night. I said one of the most profound phrases that I ever learned in my life that a man needs to know how to say in every way possible is this: I don't know. Just say I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll talk more about that. Hey, I like to have a drink every once in a while, not always beer. What I like to drink is wine, and you know what? I have a wine that, believe it or not, can when you drink it, it's about 10 times healthier than anything else you're drinking. Down in Argentina, they make a really dark wine. It's a red wine from Malbec grapes grown at 9,000 feet. Yeah, I said it, 9,000 feet. They've been lab tested, and these wines have been found to contain up to 10 times the levels of a longevity and heart health nutrient called resveratrol. Resveratrol is powerful stuff. It pops up again and again in studies on longevity, heart health, brain health. This wine has it. The wines have 90% less sugar, fewer chemicals, fewer additives. Plus, if you love steak and barbecue, red wine has been shown to actually make red meat healthier. Tastes great. Notes of blackberry, leather, cherry, and smoke. Today, the guys at cowboywines.com, they're going to give you 50% off their best Malbecs, also 50% off shipping. Wine makes a great gift, even if it's just a gift to yourself. Come on, do something for yourself, Lisa Page. Just visit cowboywines.com today. That's cowboywines.com. Stay right there. Man, United Airlines, I don't even know that I realized United was still in existence, honestly. I fly them so few times.
I'm definitely not going to fly them after this because they're just putting anybody up there as long as they're not white.
As long as you're not white.
As long as you're not
or
white.
Or male.
Yeah.
Before we get into that, I just pulled it up and this tweet is here. Greg Abbott tweeted out this last night, said Biden's disastrous open border policy encourages smugglers, cartel members, and now terrorists. They just caught 2 people crossing the border who were on the terror watch list. Somebody told me this morning on Twitter that on Facebook I'm fear-mongering. And I'll tell you in a minute why I'm fear-mongering. I'll tell you what I said to fear-monger. Greg Abbott said the crisis is only getting worse. Texas is sending Texas Guard and Texas DPS troopers to the border, but Biden must step up and put an end to the illegal crossings. My question there is sending them to the border to do what? To do what?
I received an email this morning. One of the first emails I read this morning is, why are we not sending National Guard down to the border? And my question was, kind of the same thing, to do what? But it is, if they're going to turn them loose right there at the border, our National Guard could pick them up and let the state send them back, I guess. I don't know.
Well, it's complex. And let me tell you why it's getting really bad. See, this is something that people aren't thinking about. Let me bring up 2 points here. We're not the federal government here in the state, right? So it's costing the Texas taxpayer $800 million a year to deal with this crisis at the border. We're having to spend, let's round up to $1 billion a year. Texas state taxpayers, citizens. It's costing us $1 billion to deal with this. It's costing billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars of the federal government's money still our tax dollars, to deal with this crisis. The difference is Texas can't just print money. The federal government can, right? We have a budget that we have to stay within. So we bitch about the roads and infrastructure and all of these things that need to be done in the state of Texas. We don't have the ability to just go out there and pick up another loan or pick up another, print some more currency that doesn't exist like the feds do. So this is a major crisis. The second thing, and this is what the Biden administration is doing, and you just think this is a border problem, it's coming to a city near you, because now they've started busing these folks and flying these folks all over the country. You know why? Because by dispersing them all over the country, one, it's harder for them to go back, but it doesn't look like there's as many bottlenecked at the border. So they spread them out all over the country. So it's like you go to the airport and there they are. James Klug was talking about it the other night, Tuesday night, last night, whenever it was. He was talking about, you see them there at these airports. They've got their little manila envelope that says where they're going, what their name is, where they're going, and their information. They're being given plane tickets to wherever they want to go. So it's coming to your city, folks. So I said that this morning on Facebook. The crisis is going to be your crisis now. It's not just going to be in Del Rio. It's not going to be in Laredo. It's not going to be in McAllen. It's not going to be in these places like that. It's coming to your town, all over.
Most of these are not Mexicans, correct? These are from further south than Mexico, right?
Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador is a lot of it.
I mean, because, daily we have people that go back and forth across the border
that have work visa.
They have work visas. Mexicans and Americans go down south and do business and stuff like that back and forth. But these people are coming from way down there. We need to ship them back.
There are Americans that choose to live in Mexico and cross over into America to go to work every day because it's cheaper to live over there. There is. I mean, you could go down. I've been there many, many times. You can go to Laredo, and you'll see the bridges that go across the Rio Grande, the walking bridges where they come in and they check in their little visa and they go to work, turn around and go back in the afternoon. That I get. I understand that, but I mean, this is a deep problem.
I'm cool with that, because then we know who is coming across.
Yeah, they're accounted for. But the fact that Biden hasn't gone down there, Kamala Harris laughs at the whole thing.
Kamala Harris
so
has
James brought up. What's that, Steve?
Kamala Harris has disappeared, hadn't she?
Okay, so they named her the immigration czar, right? She's the czar.
Yeah, she's like the point person for
But
it.
this is the same woman who campaigned on open borders. She campaigned on easier path to citizenship, of no more calling them illegal aliens, that they're immigrants. She campaigned on all of this stuff. She's literally the worst person that they could have appointed to a position and called her an immigration czar. The absolute worst to handle this crisis. This administration is a joke, right? When you still have retired ICE Director Tom Homan, James Klug talked about him being down there at the border. He's retired, for crying out loud. And yet he's still down there at the border working. He's still down there dealing with this. There's so many of these guys that have worked with ICE, worked with Border Patrol. They're still going down there. And where's Joe Biden been?
Yeah.
He's not down there. Listen, if I were governor of this state, I'd be down there making my presence known on a regular basis that something's got to happen here. And I'm not saying, that's not my comparison to Greg Abbott. I'm not saying Greg Abbott's been to the border. He knows what's going on down there. But I'm just saying, if I was the president, same thing. I'd be down there. I'd be down there making my presence known. I'd be boots on the ground, seeing what's going on and seeing what's happening. But they don't want to see it.
They don't want to see it. Yeah, so not to cut you off, but like also, at least let the American people see you're trying, Joe.
Yeah.
Kamala, just throw in a little effort so we know that you care. They're sending admins down there.
Right.
The fact that they're not allowing real press down there. And I was saying this yesterday. I ranted in my car yesterday because I just don't understand. What's the saying? You vote for a clown, you get a circus. This is it. Yeah. Everyone who just didn't want to vote for Trump because they didn't like him, well, guys, thank you.
Yeah. I think it was yesterday Kamala Harris was in Southern California. I mean, how close do you get to the border without going to the border?
It's a joke to her. It's a joke. They don't want to go. They don't want to see it. They don't want to acknowledge it. And we need to know. We need to know that you guys are taking care of the situation. Why? How do we stop this?
They have no intention of stopping.
None.
Zero. And again, let me go back to what I brought up in last night's episode when I said from the Victor Davis Hanson article that we want them to be valued more than Americans, because American citizens, they have blood on their hands, right? We're evil sinners. We've got the scars there from our past. So we need to bring in a whole new wash of human beings to now we can't deport them. We can't say no to them. We can't close the borders because we need to pay for our sins of the past and let these new people come in here. There is not a people group on the planet that doesn't have blood on their hands in some form or fashion.
No, it's what we do by human nature. We conquer.
That's what we do. It's what we do. Man's inhumanity to man. We've said it a million times. It's what happens. But it's okay, man. United Airlines, they are woke AF.
Oof.
They're going to fix it all. They've come out with a new thing saying that let me read their statement. Our flight deck should reflect the diverse group of people on board our planes every day. This is United Airlines. That's why we plan for 50% of the 5,000 pilots we train in the next decade to be women or people of color. Learn more and apply now. So their criteria is they want, of the 5,000 they train over the next 10 years, 2,500 of them need to be women or people of color.
Damn.
Sounds
I
like
better take my name out of the running then.
Sounds like Joe Biden's running United Airlines.
What happens if they applied the same principles that they're using in sports, right?
Uh-huh.
And you just had guys that identify as women, white dudes that identify as women, and then they go in there. Let's see that shit show unfold, where you got some dude in a wig, some transgender guy going in there saying, "Hey, I can fly this thing." What about little people? Mm-hmm. Little people fly. Are we not going to? We're not going to be really diverse.
Are you talking about
when you say
dwarfs?
little people, you mean?
That is the political correct term for midget.
Oh, I was gonna say, my buddy, the midget from Pridget, would be pissed off. You call him a little person.
I understand.
He's a midget.
but that's their term for themselves now. So what about the little people? We're not. I mean, they're going to train any of them, or is it just for black and
right,
or just for people of color and for women? This is so stupid. Maybe you have somebody that won't make the damn plane crash. How about that?
Yeah.
I don't care what color you are. They can be all people of color. They can be all women. As long as I know it's the person. Have you ever looked at a flight deck? Have you ever looked at a cockpit in a plane? I'm like, what the hell does that button do? Mm-hmm. There's a trillion of them in there. Buttons everywhere. As long as you know which damn button to push.
You ever seen one of them fat pilots climb up in there and get in that seat because they're like crammed in there?
This guy.
I swear.
I've watched them climb over because they have to climb over everything to get up in the seat.
It's got to be very uncomfortable. But could you imagine if they were like, United Airlines now only is looking to hire women and white people. If you're not white, need not apply. Need not apply. Would never happen. It's ridiculous.
So to me, when I read that,
right,
that is United Airlines' really weird way of talking about how non-diverse they already are.
Yeah, y'all are really united.
Yeah, they're not diverse. If they feel like their employees don't reflect the passengers on the plane, well, then that means that's a weird way of confessing that you're not diverse.
And I've never once boarded a flight and said, wow, there's not enough black people bringing me my drink.
I've never gotten on a plane and thought about the color or gender of the pilot. Never, ever, not one time. I'm assuming it's a person who's done a whole lot
of flying
of training and flying and, you know.
Yeah.
I'm a horrible person. I just always assume it's a man.
So sexist.
Y'all, this is your captain speaking. If y'all sit down and put your masks on, we're going to get this shit off the ground here in a minute.
Let's go.
I mean, what are we down, Soul Plane?
Yeah.
This is stupid. I mean, You got Snoop Dogg up front. You got to have Snoop Dogg and Shakira.
Let's start the
Flying the plane.
Yeah, I mean, as
Candace.
everyone's boarding, let's play some freaking hardcore hip hop as they board.
So
Right? Like,
plane.
If Snoop
It's
Dogg's
so
flying
dumb.
it, we're good.
give me some Drake as we board, okay?
This is ignorance, y'all.
Candace
is ignorance.
hates us right now.
I mean, come on. Let's take it where it's going.
Right? Yeah.
Let's take it to its logical conclusion.
That takes me to this very trivial point that really doesn't matter.
Oh, you are going to take it just to a trivial point that doesn't matter.
The term balls to the wall is an aviation term.
Oh, yeah.
The throttle had 2 little balls on it, and they would push it forward.
Oh, I like
balls
it.
to the wall.
What's that got to do with women?
Nothing. It had to do with aviation.
I mean, women ain't got no balls to put to the wall unless you're one of those trannies that wants to fly the plane.
There we go.
It's the truth, man.
Oh,
Golly.
man.
This is how far off we are.
I won't be flying on United just because of that. It's such BS.
Listen, political correctness. I'm so sick of it.
It's shoved down our throats.
Later on, I'm gonna give you some commentary on political correctness later on. It's been festering in my heart, and I'm gonna.
Oh, I can't wait.
I'm gonna share some.
Stir it up.
To you. I don't know about you, but I feel like I'm always looking at a screen, like I am right now. Now more than ever, screens are everywhere, and whether you're an avid news watcher or you're in serious need of distraction, unplugging yourself is easier said than done. Now, one of my favorite ways to rest my eyes and still get content that I'm itching for by putting on my Raycon wireless earbuds and listening to something great. Whether you're catching up on your favorite news podcast, bringing an audio book, listening to the Chad Prather Show, powering through your workout with a pumped-up playlist, a pair of Raycons in your ears can make all the difference. You don't have to deal with the dangling wires or those little stems on some of those earbuds. You see those. They're not going to get in your way. So Raycons are going to come in a range of stylish colorways, but always with a comfortable in-ear fit for more discreet looks. Raycons are built to perform anywhere and anytime with water and sweat-resistant construction and Bluetooth that pairs quickly and seamlessly, and with enough battery life for 6 hours of playtime. You can unplug for a while. But the best part? Raycon makes great sound accessible to everyone with wireless earbuds starting at half the price of the other premium auto brands. I don't know if you've shopped those things, but they're very expensive. Raycon's offering you 15% off all their products for my listeners and our watchers. Here's what you've got to do to get it. Go to buyraycon.com/watchchad, and that's it. You're going to get 15% off your entire Raycon order. Feel free to grab a pair and a spare. That's 15% off at buyraycon, RAYCON.com/watchchad. Go to buyraycon.com/watchchad, and we'll be right back. Did you see Joe Biden's new infrastructure plan, his new infrastructure budget? Only 5% of it goes to roads and bridges. Only 5%. But it goes to all kind of things like abortion and
all the conveniences.
Yeah, all this stuff. Yeah, somebody needs to explain to Puddinhead what infrastructure is. States planning on using the COVID-19 vaccine passport. See, here's the thing. Let me make sure you guys understand. Whenever our governors come out and say we're not going to utilize vaccine passports, that's not saying that they can stop vaccine passports. They're just saying they're not going to require them for use within the state. Now, if you go to other places or you deal with big businesses like, let's say, American Airlines or United Airlines, they may require that.
Or I don't know if your kid's going off to Rutgers in the fall.
Yeah.
You're going to need a passport for your kid.
What about individual businesses within a state that the governor says no?
Well, then you don't have to require
You're
it.
exempt in that
state.
state.
You don't have to require it. So it's becoming a divisive issue, obviously. I mean, the way I look at it, we're already dividing ourselves as a nation. This is going to be a watershed issue, in my opinion. In many ways, these states are going to so isolate themselves that they really are going to start operating as their own nations, because let's face it, big business has us by the balls to the wall, and that's it's getting hard. It's going to be harder and harder to do business. New York's embraced the idea. They're the first state in the nation to formally launch a digital vaccine passport.
California will be next.
That's called the Excelsior Pass. The Madison Square Garden Times Union Center in Albany, they've already begun using the app. Smaller arts and entertainment venues, they're going to utilize the pass. Hawaii said that they're testing the technology. Let's see. Said probably won't happen for at least 4 more weeks. Illinois, the Pritzker, the governor there, says supports the passports. Added that they should not be required to enter or an event or facility, as long as it is your choice. People ask you to show that for. I don't understand where these people even come from. I mean, why do we even have to say those things? Florida, Texas, Georgia, Tennessee, Missouri, Nebraska have already expressed fierce opposition. Greg Abbott, Texas governor, issued an executive order prohibiting state agencies.
That's a violation of HIPAA. As soon as you
agreed,
period.
So my thing with Greg Abbott is Greg Abbott likes to wait and see what Ron DeSantis is going to do, and then a week later, after he's seen the backlash from it, he decides if it's a good idea for him to do it. Have y'all noticed this? Like, as soon as it happens. But what's funny is I've learned his pattern. And so I'll tweet or I'll make a Facebook post and I know right when he's about to do it.
Yeah.
And it makes it look like he did it after I said it. So all these people are going, damn, man, you're
such an influencer, Chad.
Influencing this guy. And I'm like, I'm really not. But I just know.
It's predictable.
I know how to time him. I know how to time him. About 6-7 days after Ron DeSantis has made a decision and the positive feedback is coming, here comes Greg.
You have to admit, though, there is something to this Ron DeSantis guy. I like that he just doesn't give a shit.
He doesn't give a shit.
You think some of Abbott's people are watching your Twitter?
100%.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
They're digging in deep, man. Not only Twitter, it's a lot of crap they're digging into. I told the folks in Wise County the other night, I said, in the days ahead, you're going to hear all these horrible things that I supposedly did. I said, if you'll ask me, I'll tell you even worse.
That's awesome. Let's have a real conversation.
I mean, y'all, you think, I said, guys, I've lived, these little old ladies in there, I'm like, I've lived a rock star life. I don't know if you know what that means, guys, but I've done it all.
I'm about to tell you, yeah.
I've done it all and enjoyed doing it. But I'm just a citizen that's trying to step up and make his voice heard. And I said, here we are. I said, you're going to hear the days ahead all these crazy things I've done. I said, but I've done far worse. I promise you. DeSantis said it's completely unacceptable. Brian Kemp in Georgia said he's opposed to state-mandated vaccine passports, won't support any kind of state-mandated. Bill Lee there in Tennessee disapproves. Nebraska Pete Ricketts, nope, will not participate in any vaccine passport. Good for him.
Good. Are there any Democratic governors that are standing up against the federal government?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
They're not going to. So, White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki, she said the government,
Raggedy Ann.
The government is not now, nor will we be supporting a system that requires Americans to carry a credential. There will be no federal vaccinations database and no federal mandate requiring everyone to obtain a single vaccination credential. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, sure. Just like you guys are closing up the borders and getting it all under control.
Oh, they're back to building walls now.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
construction has restarted.
Yeah.
Here's the people I'm envious of. New study finds 7% of all Americans are living internet free.
Oop, not me.
They're happy.
7%.
7%. So you have you've got folks like the elderly and my mom,
all the kids under 5.
This old age, remote living, poverty, those kind of things. Hard to believe.
Joe Biden.
I've seen some of the poorest people. They always have a cell phone and they always have the internet.
You don't be around poor people, dude. You're a 1%er, Steve.
What are you talking about? Have you been in my neighborhood?
You're a 1%er.
I wish I was.
5% of Hispanic adults, 9% of black adults report they never use the internet, down from 14% to 15%. So if you look at those numbers, it looks like minorities are using the internet more. It's be more accessible. I'm just surprised that black people know how to get on the internet.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
they don't know how to get an ID.
Do they know what an internet is? What the internet is?
I'm not sure if they know how to navigate something like that. I mean, they don't know how to go get a driver's license or a federal ID or state ID. They don't know how to do any of that stuff. I'm surprised they even know how to operate the ballot box.
How do they operate daily in life in general?
I mean, if you're going to send them a mail-in ballot, are they smart enough to get to their mailbox to mail it back?
Do they know what mail is?
What if they put the stamp on the inside of the envelope? I mean, these black people are just not smart.
No. Can't handle anything.
This is the dumbest thing in the world.
It's the worst.
This is our administration's mindset. This is it's pathetic.
They are the true racists.
Insult.
They are. It's insulting. Yes, that's the word.
It's such an insult.
If I am a black person, I am completely insulted by this whole woke everything. Making my culture feel oppressed. We can't do things. We can't accomplish anything. That we need all the government's aid and help and free everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can't even say that because you're whiter than
Well, that's
anybody
right.
I know.
I'm privileged.
Well, okay,
I'm so white privileged.
In the next segment,
yeah.
we're going to talk about this political correctness because that's what everybody's like, they cringe when we say stuff like that because it's not politically correct. I'm going to talk about that. My buddy Cooper Wade, who, by the way, we're going to be together in Seabrook, Texas, doing a show Friday night. Little music for you. Cooper Wade, he put yesterday on Instagram, he said, I flew to Gulfport, Mississippi today on Delta Airlines, rented a car at Hertz, checked in at the Hampton Inn. All of these places spoke out against the Georgia voter ID laws. He said, I was shocked and appalled that I had to show my ID to board the plane, rent a car, and rent a hotel room. Oh, wait, you mean IDs are only racist when it comes to voting? Exactly. That's how stupid it is.
Yeah.
It's so simple, but it's stupid. Hey, I'd like to welcome our guys at Northwest Retention. I heard from Tim Anderson yesterday. Tim, I'm going to show you something, buddy. Hang on. Look at this.
Oh,
Look at
gosh.
this right there.
Oh,
Look at
gosh.
that.
Oh.
No, zoom right back into that.
Oh,
Nancy.
man, right
Look
there.
At that Northwest. That's
Look
not,
at that.
that's
Your
not
zipper's down.
That's zipped up. But that just stays open right there. Look at that right there, folks. Look at that. Northwest Retention. That's my belt.
Wow.
Right there.
Woo!
He just sent us some new slings for the rifles. And, yeah, good stuff. You got yours, Steve.
Yeah, I would show you mine, but
no,
I
you can't pull
quite
that out of the
get
bag in here. America's premier holster, everyday gear manufacturer, no compromise, top shelf. Every company says that, but listen, these folks prove it. I wear this belt every day, and normally it's got one of their Northwest Retention holsters clipped to it. Their gear and product innovation is their obsession. Custom shop. They're not cheap, folks. I'm going to tell you something. They are quality. And they got systems for hundreds of firearms. Proud to be all-American, manufacturing all their products right here in the United States, employing Americans. Northwest Retention, they got goals. They're going to bring you the greatest quality, value, and service to the marketplace. They're going to be innovative and continue to build and provide the best quality lifestyle gear to industry. And most importantly, they're going to show gratitude, help their fellow man build relationships, educate. They are a personal company. I hear from Tim all the time, good buddy. Work to bring the very best to their customers and go above and beyond to improve their community. As far as their products go, you'll not be disappointed. I've shown you. You see that I'm using it myself. From their outdoor gear to their top-selling Scout chest holster, their concealed carry lines, quality performance are always present. Check out their website to see what they have to offer for you. Premium quality and satisfaction guaranteed. Lifetime warranty. Got you covered with the right holsters done in the right way. Visit nwretention.com. That's nwretention.com. Enter promo code WATCHCHAD to save 10%. Be right back. All right, guys, I want to take this segment, and I'm going to bore you a little bit, but I want to give you permission to be politically incorrect, okay? Because one of the things that I hate so much about what's going on in the world today is what's called collective consciousness. It's shifting more and more towards socially and even legally enforced political correctness, which is garbage, and it's limiting principle that mutes the goodness of those who actively seek to be good to others because of their own choice and volition. So what happens is it turns into redundancy while simultaneously missing the rhetorical forest for the trees. The landscape of our communication, the words we say, one another is characterized with fewer and fewer of those little scrub brushes of genuine critical thought about and our concern for our fellow man, because the ground all around us is choked out with the weeds of social conformity. You've got to say everything just right or you're going to get screwed. Now, why are people so cautious about what we say today in public discourse? I mean, from the water cooler to being up on a stage somewhere in front of a crowd, the moment you hit send on a tweet, you're rolling the dice. It's because, let me put it this way. Do you think it's because you don't want to hurt somebody else's feelings or somehow marginalize a group of people by accident with the words you say? Now, the conventional wisdom flowing from the commode that has rented space in our discourse would suggest that's precisely the reason, but I don't buy it at all. The truth, I think, is that it's 100% fear-driven, but not the fear that you might hurt someone else. Rather, it's the fear that someone else might hurt you. Now, see, we're all in a position today to be canceled in one form or another, whether it's getting demonetized on social media, deplatformed, demonized in the press, or even just being ostracized by peers or family. Our heads are all potentially on the chopping block at any given moment based on the words we say. Now, if I choose to accept this shifting snake of a paradigm, what it does, going over everything in my head with a fine-tooth comb before I allow it to flap through my lips, does that constitute me being a good person in any real sense? Is the conformity to what we call wokeism an analog or even a good replacement for my natural tendency, assuming that I have this tendency, to actually desire not to hurt other people? I don't think it is. In fact, I think it's perhaps the most firmly rooted example of the staggering and deadly difference between collectivist thought and individualist thought. Where are individuals gone? Individual thinking. See, collectivism, that groupthink implies a responsibility that's out of your hands as a person. You simply blow with the prevailing wind, say what everybody else is saying, regurgitate the words, or you face the consequences. Now, individualist thought, on the other hand, makes that little man or woman inside you, your conscience, it makes it the judge, jury, and executioner for every thought you translate into the words that come out of your lips. Now, that doesn't mean that you're safe from ostracization, of course, but a certain amount of that in public interaction, in discourse, is necessary and good. I mean, bullshit should be called out when it's bullshit, right? You call it out. That's okay. But what it means is you're in control of your bullshit. Now, therefore, if what you say to or around or about others is good, and it's good intrinsically bound up in that spiritual collection of atoms that makes up your personality, that's great. Ditto if what you say is evil, at least it was said right. It was the thing that you meant to say. You shouldn't be judged by that. Now, I get the desire out there to root out that evil in our society, but we have to make sure always that we're not throwing the baby out with the bathwater. See, political correctness, or as I like to call it, enforced speech, really what it should be called, it commits this collateral damage to genuine human goodwill. And in the meantime, not only does it solve evil, if anything, it gives evil good cause to go underground and fester. That's something we could all do without. So when you talk about somebody saying, oh, that's racist, that's racist, that's racist, that person a lot of times is just hiding their own racism, right? It's caused the evil to go underground. So the problem here, as I see it, we've been taught to think of everything being on a spectrum, except for the one thing closest to the true intentions and feelings and thoughts. We don't allow them on the spectrum, other than a person's speech. You can't get any more intimately inside of another person's head but through their language. Language is the gateway between us as a species, and its protection is so vitally important because of that. That's why free speech matters. That's why comedy matters. That's why these shows matter. I've tried to crawl inside the minds of those who disagree with me on this point, and I think that if they could drill down on their side of the argument, it would probably sound something like this. They would say that people who fight the encroachment of the political correctness upon our discourse are doing so in bad faith. So we're evil people, right? Because we're fighting political correctness. They don't like that it means they're not allowed to say certain things because those things are hateful and the person wanting to say them is hateful. But if they just remove the hateful speech, then we'll eventually move the hateful thought that perpetuates it. And if that doesn't work, we'll just cancel the hateful person. So, interesting thought. The first problem with it is that it doesn't work. There is a difference between being afraid to think in a certain way and being unwilling to think in a certain way. The latter has some hard-won honesty to it that you can be proud of. The former is, whether it's meant to be by its perpetrators or not, oppressive and murderous to the imagination. Now, the second problem is if this is an accurate representation of the argument, it's that it is built and proceeds upon a dangerous and surely almost always wrong-headed presupposition that the bearer of the bad speech is a human of evil intent. How dare he said that? He's got an evil black heart. This is why people are banned on social media platforms. They're fired from their jobs. They're demonized in the press because, again, there's no spectrum in speech in the modern world. And I don't just mean situations like the one where the guy gets fired because he uses the N-word in a context other than racism, such as discussing the lyrics of a rap song with his students in a college campus. Now, that is simple in many ways, a simplistic example, but the problem runs much, much deeper in the collective consciousness. We use this cheap mental magic trick whereby we hypnotize our own brain and then we re-hypnotize it, and it's really frightening. Somebody gets called out for something they've said, and the first layer is that we assume far more about their character in a quick camera flash of false intuition than we could accurately assess, even if the person had said it and meant the bad thing it supposedly implied. Now, maybe that intuition ends up being right there, look, because there are shitheads out there, right? But it doesn't deserve to be that way. It's a coin toss. Then when the person apologizes and goes through the proper amount of verbal self-flagellation, which we actually correctly do not believe because, as the thesis of what I'm saying states, the person is almost certainly acting out of fear. And there's no room for any genuine emotion of guilt to be squeezed in. Remember that YouTube video we showed you where everybody was apologizing? The second act of self-hypnosis, we tell ourselves that the reason we don't believe this person is genuine is because they really did mean the thing they said in the bad way that we took it. Instead of realizing that we cowed this person into servility, the only way to accurately assess what he really thinks would be to give him a little space to breathe. Instead, we lunge forward with our teeth bared and we cancel him. What's the icing on the cake? We pat ourselves on the back when we're done because we're rooting out racists and hate mongers. Don't you know we're doing such a great thing? That, my friends, is the problem with pushing for collectivist thought and specifically political correctness. Say what you mean. We'll be right back. So just to let you guys know, we're going to be getting unapologetic and saying what we mean at a couple of shows coming up. Going to be at Seabrook, Texas this Friday night. That's April 9th. Oklahoma City, we're going to be there 4/23. Going to be there April 23rd. Oklahoma City at the Cowboy Hall of Fame. Come see us. The Woodlands, Texas at Do-Si-Do's on the 29th. And then we're going to be in San Angelo, Texas, right in the heart of Texas on the 30th of April. Go to watchchad.com for all the fun stuff is. And, show your support. Prather2022.com. Got an opportunity over there to, do some things. You'll see when you get over there. Got some platform issues. People always like, we can't figure out if you're serious or not. Damn.
I get asked that all the time.
I know.
Is he really running?
I know.
No, he's doing it as a joke.
We're bouncing around. We're going to a lot of counties, and we're talking to as many folks as we can. Delivering some pretty good speeches, a little Texas history. My biggest thing is reminding Texas to be Texans. And there's a lot of heritage, a lot of history there, a lot of great stuff.
Text it.
Text it. And a lot of people misunderstand what text it is, but I want us to be able to control our own destiny, and that ultimately sums up text it. Met yesterday with a bunch of, I've been meeting with a lot of economists, a lot of folks that are experts in terms of taxes, specifically property taxes. We're working on this issue, this property tax issue.
Yeah, you are passionate. Look, please win we can abolish that.
I really am, because it's sick, man. People are being punished. Go to BlazeTV.com and sign up, BlazeTV.com/Chad. Sign up for an annual subscription. Follow Lisa Page made me do it. Party Foul Steve and Party Foul Nation. We love y'all. God bless you. We will talk to you tomorrow night, Thursday. God bless you. Bye.